Hello everybody, this is Sauli Kiviranta from Delta Signi Labs. Today we are going to review some very interesting entry coming to the smart glass market. It's 8th of June 2022 and we will be reviewing some very cool hardware coming. Let's take a look before we go to the review, what do we have on the market. So if you remember that from the blog post, we have just standard handheld video see-through devices. So we just use a mobile phone or a tablet, utilize the inbuilt tracking system. For example, in Android it would be AR Core, and in iPhone it would be ARKit, that through the observation of the cameras of the device on the display we can see our augmentations based on the tracking system. So first category is the handheld video see-through devices, and second group is hands-free video see-through devices. In this case this is Vuzix M400. They already have a next generation M4000 that has a little bit better display and a little bit better hardware in it. And of course, for example, devices like RealWear HMT1 is literally marketed as a hands-free tablet. So they are really like open and honest about what are the capabilities of this display. So it's just a small display on the periphery. When you wear the devices, on the periphery of your field of view you have a hands-free display, and we can use the camera to do video overlay augmented reality, or alternatively we just position our information into the context by tracking systems or GPS systems. So this would be a hands-free video see-through display. The fourth category is wearable video see-through, for example Vario displays, or what HTC or Valve is doing. We will not be touching those today, but the third category is optical see-through wearable displays. For example, in this case it's HoloLens. HoloLens is an interesting device because it has pretty good display quality. One could argue that it could be better, but it has extremely good tracking system. So let's say 1 year ago, 2 years ago, HoloLens was very dominant on the market based on its tracking system, but now ARKit and AR Core has been really catching up with the quality, so it's not so dominant anymore. And on this category previously we didn't have too much competition. We had, for example, this is an Epson BT-45C, so it's an optical see-through device. It has stereoscopic display, so that we can have a in front of you. It's not just a peripheral, but it's stereoscopic on both of your eyes, and we can overlay the screen in front of you. These usually don't have very good tracking systems, so they just have a single individual camera, and you can use markers or some basic image-based tracking systems. And then they have the cable with the Android controller, so that you can have a trackpad for interactivity. And this is something that all the devices has been really struggling to combat, is how to make the interactivity, that when you have a display configuration, you have the tracking configuration, and then how do you solve the problem that how the user interacts. And Epson has solved it, that they have just an external trackpad on the device. On Vuzix there's a trackpad on the side of the screen. RealWear doesn't have any kind of trackpad. It's like a command line usage that you just use voice commands. On Pointer we had to build a virtual mouse to be able to use the RealWear for more spatial navigation. So that's it. And what is the new entry on the market is here. This, from a quick look, it a little bit resembles the mounting system what HoloLens has. So this is a Epson BT-45C. This is industry focused, specially designed for remote collaboration and remote mentoring. So this device has an extremely high quality camera in the center of the field of view of the person. It has the stereoscopic optical see-through display, what we saw on HoloLens and also BT-350, and it has very good ergonomics mounting. As we can see, it also has the cable, so this is not self-sufficient device. It doesn't have an Android or any kind of operating system running, so it's optical see-through stereoscopic display with very good camera, super good camera. We can discuss a little bit later about it. It has an IMU, so you can use orientation and translation tracking with it. So pretty good combination of all technologies, and really designed for remote guidance And it has an interesting pivot mounting that when you don't need the augmentation, you can just tilt the display away and keep focusing on your work. And when you need to discuss again with your colleague or show your point of view, you can just turn it back. And this mounting is flexible. They have an interchangeable part here that you can also put it on hard hat or helmet. And traditionally Epson also, you can buy it with its own Android controller. But what is a cool thing about this BT-45C is that it's just USB-C. And if you have a device, for example your Android mobile device in your pocket, if it supports DisplayPort Alt mode. So most of the new phones, let's say 1 year, 2 years old phones support this DisplayPort Alt mode. You can just plug in your Epson BT-45C. This is a prototype device that the Epson guys were gracious enough to send it us for testing in advance. So you can just plug in the display on your existing phone with the USB-C, given that it supports the DisplayPort Alt mode. And just like that, for example, in pointer, you get the stereoscopic display, you get the super good quality camera, you get the tracking, interactivity, and the IMU into your use. So this is pretty cool device, very convenient. One advantage, like most of the smart glass provider has been struggling with the storage because, for example, most of them are based on Android, except HoloLens, obviously. Keeping software up to date and keeping the operating system up to date has been very painful, and everybody had to cook up their own storage, application storage. And Epson, this new BT-45C, has a very nice advantage that as soon as you can use your own standard Android phone, you get all the operating system security updates, plus you have an access to Google Play Store. So all the software that you're running can just get rolled updates very easily through the Play Store. And a little bit more about the camera. So for example, in pointer now we have rolled out in the recent release zoom control, remote control of the zoom, that the expert can, for example, take a closer look. And the camera is so incredibly good that it's almost as good as having a microscope. Not exactly, but almost as good, so that you have a very, very good, nice zoom and extremely high quality camera view. So let me know in the comments what do you think about the device. I have tested it quite a lot now. Epson guys sent us this prototype. So this is not the actual production release. There may be some small modifications. So I have been testing this one, and it's pretty awesome. Obviously the cable is a little bit of a hindrance, but given the advantages on software deployment and security management, it's not a bad trade-off. And so overall, I'm super interested on hearing how the industry will adopt it and what kind of feedback the actual field technicians and engineers will get from this device. So this is Epson BT-45C prototype review, and it will be launched today, June 8, 2022. So greetings to everybody. Thanks for the Epson guys for letting us test this device, and let me know in the comments what you think, and especially once you get one in your hands, how you feel about the device. Thank you everybody. Ciao.